Hi, I'm in beautiful Florida right now on a golf course, not playing golf, but talking to my phone, talking to you guys actually about the narcissistic sequence, the people pleasing sequence. And I got this from discussing this with another person in a forum about how we people please and how the interaction proceeds. And what I suggested is that when we can get out of this sequence, this predictable, certain repetitive occurrence of events, if we can change the sequence, if we can change the way these events occur, then we can help ourselves out of the people-pleasing syndrome. And let me explain. The, the way it works is, if you're a people pleaser like me, chances are you've got it from childhood. Now we can look at that in a different video, or there's all kinds of videos on that. But if you have it like me, you already have it. So it becomes part of who you are. It becomes part of your DNA through conditioning. And what happens is, the way it's reinforced is, the narc, in order for them to feel good about themselves, to feel better about themselves, the narc has to see you suffer. They have to see you in pain. They have to see you weak so that they can feel strong. It's an inverse relationship. And if many of you haven't even discovered that yet, then there's a lot for you to learn. But that's how they work. It's all about power and control. It's all about being one up on you. It's all about being above you. You have to be below them, and they have to be above you. That's how a relationship works for a narcissist. It is a one-sided relationship. It's more of a dictatorship. It's more of master-slave relationship. But that's how it works. And we don't see it because we're conditioned to not see it. We're conditioned to deny that. We're conditioned to just act like everything's all right. So the way it works, though, is that, and here's how it gets reinforced. And this is just like an aha moment I had this morning. So we put ourselves out for a narc. You know, they will say something, and the narc will wait for the pain. They'll wait for us to suffer. Once they see us suffering or in pain, then they get happy. You can tell they get this little, things calm down, they're fine again, or they're happy, or they're smiling, or they're just not frowning anymore. So what happens when we do that is we've people pleased. We've gotten our result, right? We've got our little nugget. We've got our little cheese that kind of like the rat gets the cheese. That's our little reward, is that to see the narc either eased out of pain, in harmony, or happy, okay? Because we like to take pain away from others. We like to make others feel good because we've been taught, since we were young, that that's what we do. So the more I looked at this, the more I thought about this, here's what I discovered, is that the narc wants us to have real human emotions, real pain. If we fake pain, if we pretend like the narc is making us suffer, if we pretend to suffer, the narc can usually pick up on that, and they'll test us, because the narc needs real emotions because they don't have them. They need the power and control. They need the weakness. They need you to feel weak because they feel weak themselves. So if you feel weaker than them, if you are weaker than them, then they feel better. They feel more in control. They feel powerful. They feel happy. That's how you relieve their tension. So we go through this pattern where, and it's kind of sick. It's a sequence where we see the narc suffering. We want to make them feel good. So what do? We put ourselves totally out there. We actually create suffering for ourselves. And we do it. We will put something, we will buy something we can't afford and give it to them. We will make sure that we really struggle to satisfy the narc because we get that reward. We get that happiness from them. Because that's what we want, right? That's what we're striving for. And we think, because of the way we are mentally mapped, we think that if they're feeling good, that they're going to feel better and closer to us in the relationship. But it's not. It's an addiction for the narc. When they feel good and they're used to your behavior for suffering, they're going to want to see you suffer again. And here's the thing. If you do the same thing again, and you don't suffer from it. You're used to it, you get accustomed to it, whatever it is that they want you to do. That's not enough for the narc. You're not suffering anymore, so they want more. So then you have to suffer more. My main point in this is that we have to really suffer in order for them to see us do, in order for them to do, we have to really, yeah, I've got somebody walking by. They have to see us really suffer. They have to experience that pain. And so what I'm saying is, we get out of sequence, we can change the sequence around. The narc's not going to like it, but I'll talk about that in another video about the sequence. But the main thing is, the main discovery I found out today is that they really do want us to suffer. And we do that over and over again to where we get used to it, we're conditioned to it, we suffer again and again and again, and then they get their happiness, and then they want more, and then they get their happiness. So that's where we get our reward. That's why we do it over and over again, because we do get a reward from them. But it's not what we think. It's not this I love you type of thing. It's I got what I want, I'm powerful, and I need to have that reinforced again tomorrow. You'll be back again tomorrow. We think it's, oh, we're finally getting closer to them. We're finally feeling the love. We're finally making a connection. But it's not. It's totally not. And so I'll talk in another video about the sequence of how to rearrange things so that you are not putting yourselves out there. All right. But the main thing about this video is I wanted you to understand that that connection that you think you have is not a real connection. It's a way to reinforce your pain. It's a way to continually accept less and less from the narc and continue to suffer more and more without you even realizing it. I hope that makes sense. Big moment for me this morning, big aha moment. So anyways, guys, let me read your stories. Let me read your comments here. Yeah, so that's how they ramp it up, because again, we're buying into the fact, we're fooling ourselves because we don't know any better. We're thinking that they're thinking just like us. We're thinking that when they're happy, when they're satisfied, that they're making a connection with us, because they tell us they're making a connection with us, because they lie to us, because they don't know. They use words like just to achieve purposes. They don't use words for any real meaning when it comes to feeling and love and all that. They just use words to get an effect. So yeah, we want to make them happy. And the thing is, they're going to be happy for a little bit. So that's the thing. I always heard this stuff about, well, the narcs aren't really happy, and how can, it's all fake. But they do get happy, okay? And they're only happy when they're in control, when they're drunk on power, when they have lots of power and control. It's the same boat. And when they have this, and when we give this to them by our real suffering, that's what makes them happy. And so we think they're happy with us, and they're not. They're just happy having that power. And it could be power over anybody. It could be, you could be substituted any moment, okay? They just have to have some power over somebody. Yeah, they don't have, somebody says, and we never hear poor you when something is wrong for us. Well, we are being the drama queens. Yes, exactly. When we speak up about how we feel about something, that, hey, maybe this isn't right, they have to keep the power structure the same. They have to keep you here and them up here. So of course they're going to demean you and criticize you and project that you're the crazy one, that you're the one that has all the problems. So here's the thing, and I want to talk about it in another video about the sequence, about how we put ourselves out there without even knowing it. And then we feel like a jerk or a bitch or a dick if we change it. Because the narc is not going to like it, right? They're not going to like us changing the way things are, because they don't change. And why would they want you to change if they've already conditioned you and whittled you down to where you'll take crumbs from them? Towards the end of my relationship, it got to be where I was just happy that she wasn't being mad at me. But earlier in the relationship, I was happy that she was happy. And of course, if she feels like she's controlling the way things are going, that's what makes them happy. Okay, I'm going to make another video on sequencing. I have to think about it a little bit more on how to explain it. But guys, it's big. It's really big. This whole thing with people pleasing, I think, is the root. At least for me, it's the root of everything. It's the root of why I was able to do things that were detrimental to me. And I didn't see them as being detrimental because I saw the little rewards that I got from her being happy, from little things that I did. And that got reconditioned. It was reinforced each day through conditioning. So think about that. Think about what you're doing. Are you, and you can't, see, here's the thing, you can't see it until you get out of it. That's why you got to go no contact. You won't be able to see how managed down your expectations are. I mean, think about this. Read about what healthy relationships are like. Do you gloss over that stuff? For the last couple years, I would just gloss over it because it was a threat to, you know, I knew something was up. I knew something was wrong with my relationship, but it was a threat to me for me to even think about it. Like, oh my gosh, this is like too much, you know. And I would just make excuses for myself. Yeah, well, you know, we're married for a long time, and that's going to happen. And she's, you know, she is doing this. She is changing jobs. She is, you know, we are financially stressed or whatever. See, we can make up all these number of excuses, and a lot of them are excuses. We justify it, right? I mean, we want this thing to work. That's kind of how we take the narc, and we justify any off behaviors that they have. Well, you know, it's just that whatever, blah, 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 fill in the blank. So, but I think people pleasing is at the center of it. It's at the heart of it. It's the whole, and of course that means that we have to change, right? We have to do something. Because we can't change the narc. The narc is going to be who the narc is. And that's the hope, right? That's the hope that they'll eventually get to be like us, and they'll see, oh, all these great things about the relationship and how we can benefit together. But here's the thing. They don't think like us. They think differently. They think of, what can I get out of this? They never have that connection, but they lie to us, and that's what's the difference is that when somebody lies to you for their very existence, to where they believe the lie, then we're going to succumb to that, right? So, I'm out on the golf course here, not golfing. People are looking at me strange. Who's this guy? What is he doing talking to his phone? I'm talking to you guys. I'm talking to all of you guys here that see this beautiful day out here. So, what do you do about this? First thing is go no contact. You need to be able to get the perspective that you need to see that it really is. It really, I mean, when you're knee deep in crap, you know, there's that old saying, you know, then it feels kind of warm and gooey. It's kind of like, oh, this feels comfortable. You know, so you got to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. And the biggest comfort zone deal breaker is going no contact, because you're used to that reinforcement. But it's a sick type of reinforcement, because when you have to suffer to make somebody feel good, that's not healthy. I mean, think about it. In order for that person over there, say that golfer over there, in order for that golfer to be happy, that golfer likes to laugh. And I used to do this all the time, right? That golfer likes to laugh. So I'm gonna go jump in the lake nude. Okay, I'm gonna just rip everything off and run. That'll make him laugh. He'll have a good laugh, right? But it's at my expense, right? Because now I can get arrested or something. Oh yeah, remember that guy at the golf course that got arrested for whatever? Anyways, get that out of your head. But my point is that we can use humor too, right? We can make ourselves the funny person to make other people laugh, but it's at our expense. So what I've been able to do over the last couple of years is I've been able to find more of a happy point, a fine line of where I'm able to make people laugh. I'm able to express myself, but not at my expense. Not at the detriment of my reputation, not at the detriment of any advancement. But see, the narc wants that. The narc wants to see you exactly where you are at. They do not want to see you advance in your career. They want to see you advance in your happiness. They don't want to see you advance at all. They want you exactly where you are. They want you to be the same. They need predictability. They need control. If you're not unpredictable, you're out of control. You're out of their control. Okay? Another reason to go no contact. Do you see how this works now? You see how they think? You see how we please, we suffer to get pleasure? And that's probably all a lot of us know, right? But you can relearn it. You can reprogram yourself. So you can change. You have introspection. They don't. You can look at yourself and say, okay, what am I doing wrong? Some of the first steps for me was awareness. It was breaking the patterns. It was like when I would stop myself mentally, and, you know, even just stop in my tracks and refocus and look at something. Why did I say that? Why did I do that? At the end of the day, before I retire at night, right? Kind of write down, why did I do that? Okay, how'd that make me feel? See, that's your secret weapon right there, is this heart-gut thing. This mind-heart-gut thing. You have this. You can align this. The narc, it's all in their head, and their head gets bigger. It's like a big ego thing. You've got this. You've got your heart. You've got the empathy. You've got the alignment there. They don't. And when you connect this, see what's happened is the narc came in and disconnected this. So all you have is this, and it's confusing, and there's all kinds of things, and you're trying to go down here to get information, and the narc's going, no, you can't do that, you know, kind of keeping you up in your head and all confused. But meanwhile, your heart's starving. It's like, hey man, what's going on? You're not doing the right stuff to even help us be nurtured, you know? So when you get all this though, when you get it all aligned, and you're genuine, and you're living true to yourself, and you're listening to your heart, you're listening to your gut says, that's not a good idea, and you go, you know what, I think I'm going to pass, and then you walk away. You say no, you're not people pleasing. That is where the secret is. That's where it all comes into play. So I hope this helped. Love you guys. We'll talk to you later.